Am I a Republican or am I a Democrat? I've been getting some feedback, some interesting comments about what people think I am, and I want to get into it in this video. My name is Michael Lentz. I'm running for mayor of Coeur d'Alene. You can check me out at Strong Young Mayor on Instagram or strongyoungmayor.com. I'm doing everything myself. I'm not asking for donations. If you want to keep Coeur d'Alene special, you have to get involved. I can only go so far as the community pushes me. And if people aren't into the message, then obviously don't get involved and vote for the other guys on November 2nd if you're into that. If you like the path the city is on. So it's up to you. I'm just giving people an option to preserve their city and to have somebody who's going to fight for what locals and residents have built and earned. So am I a Democrat or a Republican? The answer is neither. I am registered unaffiliated. I am the only one who is registered unaffiliated. I'm running against two retired Republicans. And the mayor's race is a nonpartisan race. So the mayor's position is a nonpartisan position. Even if the Republican Party here is recommending Joe, and obviously Jim has been in the state Senate as a Republican, and they both are registered Republicans. I'm registered unaffiliated because I am unaffiliated, and I'm making all of these videos, hours of content about my opinions, because I'm not trying to fool anybody. One of the things that I've heard several times now, which has been a little weird, is that I'm some secret progressive agent, and I'm sneaking in the back door or something progressive. I'm not a progressive. I would be in Seattle if I loved progressivism. I hate progressivism. I'm not into progressivism at all. And I'm not sneaking in anywhere, anything, because obviously I'm making videos about my opinions and being very straightforward about what they are. So I'm neither a Republican or a Democrat. I can see some value in both perspectives. And I also want to say that I realize in making this video, if I say anything positive about Democrats, that's going to be offensive to a lot of people, or you're going to think that I'm some secret agent or something. I like positions from the old left, and I'm talking about the old left of like 20 or 30 years ago, like take care of the environment, be very skeptical of big business. Pharmaceutical companies are sketchy and should be, natural health and local food is the way to go. I like a lot of those positions, which are very traditionally old left positions. Take care of your neighborhood, volunteer locally, shop local. Those types of things are old left positions that I like. I like local business. I like all of the beautiful natural lands here in Idaho. And so those aren't Democrat Party platforms now, but those would be considered old left positions. And I do like a lot of conservative positions, conservative things. One of the reasons I moved here. I am a Second Amendment absolutist enthusiast. Let's say enthusiast. A Second Amendment enthusiast. I'm one of the machine gun and vending machines guys. So you're not going to find somebody who has you're not going to find somebody really who has more of an enthusiastic opinion on guns than me. I am frequently carrying. Also, and again, I'm just being transparent with people and being honest that I'm not registered with either party or like either platform. Because I think you end up with the worst of both worlds. And I think guns would actually be something that would be a great example. I think most Democrats would say that they're unhappy with where gun control is now. And I think most Republicans would say that they are unhappy with where gun control is now. And so we end up with this sort of worst of both worlds. Nobody's happy and the policies aren't good for either side. So that would be one example where I think like I'm more into results. I'm more into having an awesome place to live, having an amazing city, getting the right result. In some ways, I'm even more conservative, for example, than Joe, who's the recommended Republican. I mean, I've said publicly, there's the video, that I would like for people who only own one house here in Coeur d'Alene, I would like their property taxes to go to zero. That's not a Republican Party platform issue. Nobody in the Republican Party really talks about it. So that's not a Republican issue, but I would say that's a very conservative issue. I think that's something that, but the problem obviously is that property taxes account for roughly 20% of the city budget. So if you're going to, let's say, even cut how many of those are single home owners, probably, let's say, 3/4 of them. So you'd have to find out ways to make up that revenue for the city. My solution is to tax the snot out of foreign, outside the state of Idaho, property owners or business, multinational corporations, maybe even some taxes on tourists. But again, free market, Republicans don't want to do anything to interfere in the market, even if it's against predatory outsiders who are coming in and crushing people in your jurisdiction. So that's why I'm not a Republican. At least one of the reasons is that, I don't agree with that. So I'm not a secret agent progressive. I'm not a Democrat. I'm not a Republican. And a big issue with the parties is that they just have these laundry lists of their party platform. And it's kind of expected that if you agree with one thing, that therefore you're all the other things as well. And I'm a localist. I believe that the government should do what's best for the citizens in its jurisdiction, the absolute best. And if that is a tax, most likely on somebody who's not in the jurisdiction, then I'm into that. If that means looking at some sort of government program that could, needs to be looked at because there's some issue in the community, I'm willing to look at that. I'm not just going to say government is bad. No. Even though, to be fair, mostly the government is terrible at doing things right or good, mostly. Certainly the federal government, less so for local governments, as I've said in several videos, and I will continue to say, it seems like the city overall is run pretty well. Budgetarily, they seem like they're very responsible. They seem like they're on top of things. And for the most part, outside of the growth issue, certainly administratively, I feel like the city is run pretty well as far as I can tell. So anyway, that's kind of a quick rundown of why I am not a Republican or a Democrat. I certainly do like a lot of the culture here in Idaho, a lot of the conservative culture, let's say, but that's not necessarily a direct relation to Republican Party platforms. And so, again, I'm not trying to sneak and be a rhino. I'm not trying to sneak and be anything. I do love the culture and community here, but I'm not going to be dishonest and say that I'm a Republican just to win an election. So there you have it. The choice is yours on November 2nd.